it'll give you enough time to click over and start the stream, and then it'll probably be right at 60 and counting us down.
Yeah, so I'll start that now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn on YouTube. Oh, shit. Close. I'm going to turn on... Well, first I got to see our... Yeah, there it is. And then I can turn on Odyssey, YouTube, and over here, YouTube already sees it. And see, we're nice and muted now. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Morning live stream. Okay, and so supposedly that's running then. And...
But, oh my God, the delay.
And... So is this.
Okay. No.
Wait, I need more time. Rewind. Just kidding.
That's hilarious. You needed to find a longer than 60 seconds.
Because what's happening now?
It's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Zero, go. Okay. We're learning about timing the start of our live streams. Let's go.
Right.
What we're doing today is just trying to stay on track and continuing our morning live show with hard-hitting truth in the arena generally of government and persons. Oh, is it that YouTube video that's playing? Yeah.
Oh, gosh. It like replayed over again.
It restarted itself.
It looped. Okay.
Go away. Okay. So,
yeah.
Introduce what we're talking about.
Okay, so we're first going to start off with a YouTube video of a guy that the police would call a sovereign citizen, which is a complete oxymoron. Eric will explain to you.
But explain the weird meta situation with the video that we're actually going to play.
Okay, so the video, a guy that made the video is basically on the side of the police. So he's trying to tell you all the statutes and code from the Arizona website, but he's misdrewing all of the terms because he doesn't know any of the terms. So Eric's going to go through and explain what the statutes are actually saying and how the guy is pretty well right, but he's doing a couple things wrong at this stop. But I think he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. So this is like a double meta. So the video is from a channel I just discovered. I just literally searched for First Amendment audit because there's countless videos that I can like pick apart and help to educate these people. And that's the whole purpose. One of the purposes of this channel is I need to help guide these. There's thousands of these people on YouTube, et cetera, all the other platforms, maybe even more popular, of these auditors. And then all the trolls popping up saying, you're wrong, it's actually this. No, you got to do it this way. They're generally all wrong. Because if you're wrong in one little kernel, you may as well just not even be right on anything. Because it's that one little hiccup that's going to get you put in jail. So we're auditing the auditor of the auditor today, or just briefly. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but let's go. So it's a Arizona traffic stop. Let's see. I'll just be pausing it and giving commentary.
Keep it like this.
Is there anything back there?
No.
Are there any people back there?
Okay. I didn't give you permission to do that, man.
Alrighty, sir. So, do you have any idea why I pulled you over? Okay, I'm Officer Goldsmith with Phoenix Police Department.
Okay.
So he kind of already made a mistake. He answered a question. It's just technically a mistake.
Okay.
Because that is an implicit acceptance that he was kind of like just in pulling you over.
Yeah.
Okay. But let me ask you a question.
So in other words, he should have just fired back with a kind of a brushing it off, ignoring it question back to him.
Okay.
It's great morning, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is that the reason why you opened my door like that?
Yes. For my safety, I can't see back there.
Okay, but you had to get my permission to do that.
No, sir.
And another mistake, he's educating the cop, which you can't do because they're hired for their low IQ. So you just have to have minimal education moments back at their face.
That, in my opinion, I mean, they're drilled in their state laws, right? And they don't really see outside of what they've been programmed to believe.
Yeah, and you're not going to turn that around.
No.
Do you have a warrant to do that?
No, sir. I did not go into your vehicle.
And another technical mistake. The driver here, I'm not going to, okay, he's a traveler. I'm just using general English for a moment.
Yeah.
The driver here did not break the cop's false presumption of him being a sir. I think at least once or twice now he's called him a sir.
Yeah.
Now that is
That's giving someone a title.
Now
right?
that is a rank in the Jural Society.
Yep.
I believe it is short for something like what is it? It's something very cryptic, like a mystery, like a mystery worker, like I forgot. There's something I looked at. It's been years for me since I found that, but yeah, it's an actual.
It's a title.
It's a pseudo title. It's a very broad, simplistic title.
What you would say is entering the game board.
Yes.
As one of those titles.
This is you picking out your silver dog for which to play on the game board of Satan.
Okay.
I just looked
Okay.
inside.
Okay. Well,
And now he's being agreeable to the cop. Just don't say that. Just never say okay. Because that is going on to his body cam and audio as agreeable conversation.
That he understands
Yes.
what the cop is saying.
Yeah, and we won't even get into the word understand today.
Yeah.
we'll figure we'll settle that later.
Do
But
you have your driver's license with you?
no, I do not have a license.
You don't have a driver's license?
I
Technically now he has the great opportunity to say, actually, a man isn't even allowed to apply for a license. Okay. Well, I don't want to explode too many minds right off the bat. Let's keep going.
I turned it back in. I don't need a license. This is not a commercial vehicle.
This is not a commercial vehicle?
No, it's not, and I'm not operating in the commercial capacity.
Is it registered in the state of Arizona or anywhere else?
As a matter of fact, I turned that back in as well. I'm gonna have my girlfriend go in my glove compartment. Got some paperwork to show you. Go ahead.
Okay.
And why did you pull me over?
You don't have a valid registration, sir.
Okay, and we already established that it's not required that I'm not operating as the commercial vehicle,
In the
correct?
state of Arizona, you have to have a valid registration to have a vehicle on the roadway.
on
You
the-
also have to provide me with identification.
So the cop, I mean, everyone's wrong here. It's just degrees of wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the car he's kind of waking up to things, but
Yeah.
this is like the partially blind trying to lead the fully blind.
Yeah.
It's-
I mean, kudos to the driver, though, for actually taking the initiative
totally.
and waking up and trying to disassociate himself from a title that he no longer wants to
Yep.
serve, would I say? I guess. I don't know.
Oh, act as authorized
Act as,
agent
yeah.
of, act as agent of. So people are, in short, that's why I love The Matrix, and I will always love it because the presentation of the agents and how they're everywhere and everyone and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's exactly true.
Yeah.
Is because everyone walking down the sidewalk, you know, in that training session, they're just serving their straw man as an agent. So they're already agents.
Yep.
And if you trigger one of them, as
They show their real face.
they go to play defense for the system.
Yep. Yep.
So everyone is already an agent. I mean, I'm using the legal definition of agent,
Yeah.
where you're just taking action on behalf of some other party. So yeah, I could literally nitpick every word, almost not every word, but
You have to have a valid registration to have a vehicle.
and the cop is correct here
In
that
his terms, yeah.
in the state, which is a mental construct, just like you being an employee of CVS, it's just a contract on paper, same as in this state. And I think I wrote down as a note here to really hammer the point home that, where's my thing? That Did I write it down? Yeah. So the phrase "in this state" at law is directly equivalent to saying "as employee of" or "as an employee of."
Okay.
So if you're doing something in this state, in other words, state business with state property, state persons, then you are in this state.
Okay.
You're doing paperwork in that business. They've got their own rules, TPS reports required in this business, in this state.
Yeah. And then he calls it a vehicle, which.
Vehicle, commercial term as state property.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not being like cute and it's all just, what's the word? Wordplay and all that. No, I'm being literal. Just go read and you'll.
Because they are. So why shouldn't we know that and fight it?
Yeah. And the cops are truly so low IQ that they're trained specific phrases to actually use and specific words to actually use. And they don't even know why, but they're just blah, 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 in this state, you must do. Yeah. They are true. They are correct. So we've got all these thousands of First Amendment auditors and whatever fighting back on the wrong battlefront. The true battlefront is at a much lower level. You have to get out of in this state. You have to get out of acting as an agent of one of their entities.
Yeah.
The moment you go there, you're already almost guaranteed to lose. That's why, again, in the Matrix,
I was just thinking that.
it's every man or woman that has stood their ground against an agent has died. But where they've failed, I'm failing on the quote, but but where they have failed, you will succeed. Why? Because Neo realizes that there is no battle. He doesn't even have to fight. He really isn't fighting them.
Yeah.
He takes a lower level power and just defeats them with no effort because he's not playing in the same physical plane as them. He conquers them at a more fundamental level. You know, what I'm saying is he's literally just not fist fighting.
Yeah.
He goes to a lower level and defeats them. Well, in the movie, I think it's cool. It's portrayed as more of like a spiritual level. But that precedes the physical, so it's more powerful. Here in the real, for a concrete example of what I'm actually talking about, is as long as you're not fighting the agents with fists, you win. Because if you're not playing their game, you can't lose in their game.
Yeah.
You can't get a ticket. You can't get arrested. And I'm being literal, not funny here. I'm saying literally go read the statutes. And all of the statutes say who the police can arrest. Persons.
Yeah.
Not men.
Yeah.
Maybe the sheriff can. Because if the sheriff is acting in his original State of the Union constitutions.
In the capacity that he's supposed to be in,
Yeah.
he would be for the people.
He can mess with a man. Sheriff can
The free
kill
man.
your ass
Yeah.
if you're doing harm to other people.
Yes, exactly.
Not police.
Yeah.
They literally have never been allowed to do that. I'm talking literally to the letter of the law. A police has never had the go-ahead or right to do anything to a man. Only persons, state employees, or otherwise people that are agents without knowing they are because they were born into this matrix.
Yeah.
A prison you can't see or, whatever. That's what the movie is telling us about, is all about this stuff. Okay.
Roadway.
On
You
the-
also have to provide me with identification.
I don't have to
You
unless
do.
I committed
Well,
a
in the state of
crime.
Arizona, you do. If
Okay.
I pull
In the state of Arizona.
Yeah. If you're an
Again.
employee of.
Again, yes. That's for state entities dealing with state entities that are dealing with state property,
Yeah.
that are administering state property on behalf of other state entities, blah, 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 blah. It's all state. It's all on that game board, period.
Yeah. Which you become part of when you get a state ID and become a participant of their
Yep.
systems and
Exactly.
laws and yeah.
Voluntarily.
Yeah.
pull you over for a traffic infraction, you do have to.
What's the traffic?
Traffic. Another commercial term. It's defined in all of the statutes. That it basically is transportation. A man using his private
automobile
carriage, car, short for carriage.
Yeah.
He's not engaged in traffic or transportation, the transfer of goods from port to port, or transportation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look up the definition in all the statutes of the word driving, it's the transportation of persons or property. So driving, by definition, is transportation of state employees or state property.
Mm-hmm.
Not a man or woman or even a human, which is lesser than a man or woman in the legal definitions. It just is. And hue means colored or fake. So human, fake man. So I'll never say I'm a human. That's saying that you're an abomination of some kind. I think that word is actually in the legal dictionary somewhere.
Traffic infraction.
You have no valid registration.
Okay. Did I commit a crime?
That's not a crime. It's a civil matter.
Okay. So if I don't commit a crime, I'm not required. Hold on.
You are committing a crime now.
What crime is that?
Not providing me with a ID or driver's license.
The officer argues that Mr.
Well, the officer right there says, first of all, it's not a crime. And then he says it's civil. And then he goes back to saying, yes, you are committing a crime.
There's so much wrong.
I think they're both a little confused.
Everyone's confused here. That's why this is so fun for me. So the auditor of the audit is greatly confused. The cop, he probably as confused as the cop.
Yeah.
And the person in the car has got a shred of hope. But yeah, everyone's just so wrong here. And then God, the guy actually making this YouTube video here, he's annoying to listen to because I'm so right. Blah blah blah. Look at this.
Read these statutes.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh, person and vehicle. And
he's freezing by those terms like they're actual terms that he understands.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't.
Go look in the definitions section in that chapter. Oh, learn a thing. Mm-hmm. But even if people do that, I feel like people just don't realize that those definitions are exclusive. So if a word is defined in the state definitions section, it overrides no matter what you believe the general English meaning to be. Mm-hmm. Only that definition is to be applied to the wording of the rest of the statutes.
That's why they have millions and millions of copies of books to define their terms.
Yep. And often in the state statutes, you'll have a definitions section per chapter or per section, because dependent on the context of what you're talking about, you could have a different definition of vehicle. If it's like the vehicle code or whatever section, talking about in general, all the statutes, then it's generally talking about like your everyday Joe's vehicle.
Okay.
But then if you're like in the agriculture section, then you're talking about like tractors and stuff. So vehicle there could mean something actually kind of different.
Okay.
So
they define their terms per.
And yep. So you have to go to the granular most definition. Well, I'm trying to get to a real interesting principle here. So you have to always just simply respect the nearest definition in a body of law. Yeah. So if it's a chapter in a statute, you look to see, does this chapter have its own definitions section? Mm-hmm. Yes. Therefore, any use of that word is only reflected upon as being understood by that definition, period. Mm-hmm. And not even the definition above it. If there's unless it says so. Yeah. So there could be like a global statutes definitions section, and that will have a word sometimes defined globally, but then it will say, unless otherwise stated, and that's referring to child definitions sections, which override then the use of that word in those lower nested sections. Now, if a word isn't defined in either places there, think of the word like individual. That's oftentimes not defined in any statutes, whether globally or granularly. So you have to then go to like law dictionaries and you know, a lot of people like starting at Black's Law because it's got a lot of historical context. It helps clear things up. And then you go from there. And I won't even get into the definition of individual. I use that one for a reason, though.
Mr. Traveler is required to show his driver's license because he was pulled over for a traffic violation.
Which he's wrong here because he's saying Mr. Traveler.
Yeah. So first of all, he's applying a title to him that's in the commercial system, the Jural Society, Mr. Actually, that's the one I was thinking of is referring to mystery. So a worker of the mysteries of Freemasonry or whatever.
Mister. Okay,
It's short for Mr. is short for that.
Okay.
Insane.
That's
Crazy,
funny.
right?
I didn't even catch the Mr. I just heard traveler there, which I was thinking, okay, well, if he's considering him a traveler, then he's not correct in his statement here. But if he's saying Mr. Traveler,
He's speaking in
I know he's just being sarcastic and trying to say that he's trying to prove his point, like he's right.
He's speaking in derision here with a partially upbeat tone, but he sounds like a total dick that I would punch in real life.
Violation. But Mr. Traveler claims he is not required to do so because he has not committed a crime. According to Arizona's Stop and Identify law, which is codified in Section 13-2412 of the Arizona Revised Statutes, quote, it is unlawful for a person.
Yeah.
After being advised that the person's refusal to answer is unlawful, to fail.
See, that's why you never refuse. There's another thing I'll bring up. You never refuse. Ask if it's, is that required? Because that's not a refusal.
Yeah.
Asking for proof to see if something is required of you is not a refusal.
Or refuse to state the person's true full name on request of a peace officer.
Person's true full name. So you can call anyone you want in real life by whatever name you want.
Yeah.
But the reason they're able to say true full name here in the statute is because they're referring to the legal entity, which does have a absolute true full name.
Yep.
First, middle, last. Okay.
Who has lawfully detained the person based on reasonable suspicion that the person has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime. The statute also clarifies that, quote, a person detained under this section shall state the person's true full name, but shall not be compelled to answer any other inquiry of a peace officer. Therefore, an individual who...
I don't even know why this guy's bringing this up. Well, I can see kind of, but there's just so much wrong from everyone. Oh, look at... YouTube has a sovereign citizen movement context block. I've never seen that before.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. The sovereign citizen movement is a loose group of litigants. Holy shit. Activists, tax protesters, financial scheme promoters, and conspiracy theorists who claim to be answerable only to their particular... It probably says their god or whatever. Wow. It's like wrong in every syllable.
Yeah.
I mean, the very concept of sovereign citizen is an extreme oxymoron. It's a perfect oxymoron, in fact, on its face. Sovereign means S-O, solo, the one. And then right in there you've got reign, ruler. Solo, ve, is probably like some Latin what's the the some sound you make between words. So the one who reigns is what sovereign breaks down to mean. And if there is one who reigns, who is that? Well, we would just say generally God in the English language. Citizen. Wait. The one who reigns cannot be a servant. Citizen means servant.
Yeah.
So it's an extreme oxymoron. Like to perfect. That's a perfect oxymoron. Yeah, amazing. I kind of want to just not even play much more of this.
Cause you any kind of grief or house, I would just would have taken you out of the car.
And then now you're talking.
because it's just so much wrong.
My civil lawsuits when you do that.
Is that a passport?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about giving to you. I'm not sure if I'm gonna give it to you, but just for the record, is your accent on and recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna put mine right here because it's on and recording as well as my
Perfect.
glasses.
Perfect.
All right. What I will do as a courtesy to you, I give you I verify who I am.
Perfect.
Right. Here's
Oh,
the
no.
proof that I've turned in my license plate. Okay. Back to the DMV because I'm no longer contracted with them so I don't operate in a commercial capacity. Here's another paper. I turned in my driver's license.
Okay.
I gave it back to the DMV.
See, he's somewhat on the right page,
Yes.
which is generally just canceling contracts.
But he would not have had to show any sort of ID here. Like he showed his passport. You don't need a passport.
If he preempted if he didn't jump onto the game board
Okay.
with the cop,
Yeah, and he did.
and he did right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a mister.
Acknowledging
Yeah,
sir.
I'm a sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know why you pulled me answering questions. You know,
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
giving that implicit, tacit agreement of authority.
Yep.
Oh, you pulled me over. I admit that. Like, don't even go there. These are literally evil men trying to murder you. Why would you have any conversation with them? And to boot, they're the lowest IQ of the murderous people on earth.
Can't say all of them, but
Well, they're hired for that. That's actually criteria in the testing process. If you're too smart, they literally will not take you. It's in the. They all know it. I'm not saying anything controversial.
yeah.
They don't want you questioning and waking up to the evil,
truth.
the truth of their evil. Yeah.
I don't use this vehicle for commercial purpose. That's why.
I don't use this what?
Vehicle.
Yep. So what he's saying there is, I don't use this state property for whatever. I'm just using this state property.
Yeah.
Well, sir, you've just admitted to using state property.
Yeah.
Therefore, this officer, who is a higher ranking individual or higher ranking rank in the state, can do whatever he wants to this sir or person
Yeah.
or driver, which he thinks he is. But yeah, there's so much wrong going on here. It's ridiculous.
I have my plate that says for non-commercial use only. When you get a license plate at the DMV, it's required that you get that, or you're under the assumption that you're operating in a commercial capacity.
Okay.
If I was an Uber driver, I'm gonna need that.
Okay, another pointing out educating someone who's uneducatable.
You would need your
Because I'm
registration.
operating, I'm transporting passengers and stuff like that.
Okay.
But for my own private car to go from A to B, I don't need that.
Okay.
Mr. Traveler explains that he has turned in his license plate, registration, and driver's license to the DMV, claiming that they are not required because he's not using his vehicle in a commercial capacity. Section
Vehicle.
28-3151 of the Arizona Revised Statute states the quote, "A person shall not
Person. Shall, which means may, not drive drive, it's defined. Motor vehicle, defined. Vehicle, defined.
On a highway.
Driver license. Highway might be defined too. It could be like the roads in this state, which is just the political subdivision, mental construct.
Okay.
not drive a motor vehicle on a highway without a valid driver license." Mr.
Okay, asshole. Why don't you go to the definitions section now? God, this guy's pissing me off.
Traveler claims this statute does not apply to him
Oops.
because he's not operating his vehicle for a commercial purpose, likely relying on the definition of a motor vehicle.
If you're operating at all, you're all in on commerce. That's why you would never say I'm operating my car, operating my private property.
Yeah.
All the words that are defined in the definitions section, you have to completely stay away from, to the point of probably sounding ridiculous sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I'm just a I'm just a living man existing while seated in this seat and sometimes pressing on these pedals and moving this wheel thing. That is safer than saying all the simple, stupid words they're using that are defined in their system, and then therefore you are construed as being in their system.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I ever get to talk to a cop again, and I might be going to just meet with the sheriff here in the county, and that would be fun to
have this conversation.
This kind of conversation.
Located in Section 28-5201 of the Arizona Revised Statutes, which states that the term motor vehicle, quote, means any vehicle.
Oh, he did go here. Oh, but he's not understanding what he's reading. So he's looking at motor vehicle means any vehicle. Okay, well, full stop. If you have a brain, you have to go back. You have to go and see what a vehicle is now, because you can't use a word to define itself. And you know what I mean.
Machine, truck, tractor, trailer, or semi-trailer that is propelled or drawn by mechanical power and that is used on a public highway in the transportation of passengers or property.
In the transportation of passengers or property.
Yep.
In the furtherance of a commercial enterprise. However, it is critical to note that Section 28-5201 specifically states that the definitions included in the statute only apply to, quote, this chapter, referring to Chapter 14 of Title 28 of the Arizona
Revised. He's kind of pointing out the granular application of definitions,
statutes, which covers motor carrier safety, and only include statutes 28-5201 through 28-5244. For this reason, the definition of a motor vehicle in Section 28-5201 would not apply to the driver's license statute, which is located in Chapter 8. Instead, the definition of motor vehicle included in Section 28-101 of the Arizona Revised Statutes, which simply defines the term as a, quote, self-propelled vehicle.
Okay, well, let's go and see what vehicle means.
Yeah, I know. It still falls back on that.
Yeah. Is he like being half-assed diligent here?
Would apply, because Section 28-101 specifies that its definitions apply to the entirety of Title 28 unless the context of a certain statute requires a different definition. For this reason, the correct interpretation of Section 28-
Yep, he didn't go there.
Yeah.
Amazing. So people like this are either like paid disinfo agents, or it could be, it's like the Matrix, how it's like basically the people are self-policing and protecting their own slavery system. Yeah. I'm not too familiar. I've got like the Arizona statutes up here. I'm not too familiar with it, but you know what? While I'm talking, let me bring up the Wisconsin ones. Where is it? Yeah, if I search my Google Drive for Wisconsin, here it is. I have a doc called Wisconsin Statutes Person. Do I have it here? Vehicle. Here we go. Definition of I'll bring this up on my other screen over there. Yeah. Here, Val. This is the one pager I made for Wisconsin. And this is something worthy of note, is when you see, so we'll start with person again. So it includes, whenever you see the word includes, it refers to this Latin phrase, expression of one thing is the exclusion of another. So in short, includes blah, 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 blah. Anything not in this list is excluded.
Yep.
So person, according to the global definitions chapter, Wisconsin, chapter 990, is just all partnerships, associations, and bodies, politic or corporate. So they don't even try human.
Yeah.
Not some statutes have natural person, which you are not either.
Yep.
They'll have like individuals. Some statutes will have individuals. None of that is a man or a woman. And in fact, all of the individual natural persons and what was the third one I just mentioned? Anyway, all of them are not.
I was just thinking, I think they even mentioned children in some as well.
I think you're right.
Like specifically children, but never.
Yeah, never man or woman.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so more on topic here. So vehicle right here, boom, means every device in, upon, or by which any person or property is or may be transported or drawn upon a highway, except whatever. So
Yeah.
first of all, it's something in which a person or property is or may be transported. So all commerce,
Yeah.
person, it's a state employee. And it let me break down the word person. Per son. So per meaning on behalf of or through. You know, you assemble the chair per the instructions. You're acting on behalf of the instructions. Okay. Son, offspring, child. And in California, or sorry, not in California, in Canada, they call themselves like Sons of Canada.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you're a
offspring
child
of the
of
state.
child of Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you see the word person, it means you're acting on behalf of the creation of the state. An agent.
Yep.
So the word person, literally according to rules of words, means agent. Person is an agent.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. On behalf of the creation, doing something through some other entity, third person, separate entity. Or property is or may, so yeah, property, state property. It's not talking about private property. State property, because this is again all applies to state. Transported, transfer of ports. And how can you so a person is a mental construct basically, but how could you transport a person? Well, if someone's like agreeing to be actively representing the state.
Yep.
And how do you do that? You carry an ID. Just like you have a silver ship on the board. And must obey the rules of that game board while you're playing that game.
Yep.
And be subject to the random yellow and orange cards, the random police stops,
Yep.
in which sometimes it's go directly to jail, even if it's not really warranted. It's just like, some grand misunderstanding by one of the assholes, go directly to jail.
Yeah.
But why would you want to even play that game when you don't need to?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it all comes down really to the most lowest level words. And that is, of course, the most used words. Person in this state, that phrase, must, or sorry, not must, shall. People don't understand that means it's permission.
Yeah.
Oh, you shall do. It's not you must do.
It's like asking for permission.
It's like someone granting permission.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
May I go to the bathroom, teacher? Oh, you shall. It's not someone declaring you must do this now. Okay, where are we? Oops. I think I'll stop that video now because it just the same thing, just more of it.
Yeah.
And this guy is obviously just a total shill or defender of the Matrix. One thing I'll point out is this video, which everyone should watch. I'll play just the opener by the he's like the producer of the video, the guy that was interviewing this woman, Jackie Fig. And then I'll just go to like maybe one or two little moments in the video. Everyone needs to watch this video.
The woman you are about to see has done more to protect your rights than probably anyone you will ever see or meet. She is going to explain how she has found ways and reason to never obtain a driver's license and never register an automobile with any government agency, and how to cancel those things after they have been done, for the obvious purpose of exercising our right to travel without interference by the state. You may disagree with her positions. You may consider her to be radical in her activism, but you will not be able to challenge her facts and legal references, and you will not be able to prove her wrong. The vehicle regulations she discusses in this video are only one small part of the work she has done to defend and restore individual rights. Her energy, her intellect, and her devotion to justice are unmatched in my experience. When anyone works to defend their rights, they are defending all our rights. When anyone fails to defend their rights, they put all of our rights in jeopardy. In many cases, that puts our property and even our lives in jeopardy. In the following interview, we are all privileged to hear how Jackie Fig has battled for herself and for all of us in her lifelong campaign for freedom, rights, and justice.
Okay, so my name is Jackie Fig, and I've been traveling without a license since around 2003.
Okay. I need to make sure that we're live on here. And I didn't even record yet either.
I think it's good.
Well, it's just there's no preview.
I know. I think it's just because it's live.
Oh, there we go. No, we're live here at least.
Okay, so go to...
You know what's funny is she actually opens up with a verbal blunder that I just caught.
I've been traveling without a license since around 2003.
So the very fact that she's saying she's been traveling without a license. Well, you can't even apply for a license to travel. It's not even possible.
I think she's trying to speak to the people.
Yeah.
The way, I think she's speaking to her audience, not necessarily like saying a mishap.
She clearly knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do? I'm going to go, hold on a second. I still need to check on when this. Yeah, that's good.
I think you're at 19 is what you wanted to be at.
Here it is. 19 minutes, you're right.
It's not so much misled. Okay, so if you imagine at the construction of the Constitution, there's two elements in there. There's one, the formation of the government for the people, but for and by the people. And then there's the formation of the administration of the government. Two different entities. And what we keep falling into is that portion that was actually created for the administration of the government, the rules for the smooth running of the government. That's what we keep falling into. So we keep becoming state employees, operators of state property, or government employees. The office of person is really an important element for people to kind of understand. So
damn.
Yeah.
The office of person. That's like as low level as this area of thought gets. But that's where you need to go in order to receive your invincible status. Being able to defeat Agent Smith.
Yeah.
You need to have this level of understanding or you're screwed.
Mm-hmm. I know. We all need to understand that they just want to control us. And the way to control us is to trick everyone into, what do I want to say? Like trick them into believing that they're free, but they're really falling into being a state employee.
Yep.
From the day they're born with a birth certificate.
What's the quote? No one is more of a slave than he who believes he is free, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good quote. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like some old president or something. But generally, that's what is going on in the minds of everyone right now that's still not broken out of the matrix. They all think, America, I can be free. And look at everyone flooding in because they just want to be here and be free. No, they want to be here to be leeching off of a beast that still has some lifeblood to be leached off of.
Yeah, they're like willing to sell their souls in a sense to get some free money and some free everything.
Yeah. Yeah. The the countries they came from, well, I don't know, like Brazil, wherever all these people are flooding here from, they've simply leached all the lifeblood off of that area.
Entity, yeah.
Yeah. And there's still some left in America because at one time we were free, and that gave us generations of like real productive lifeblood. Mm-hmm. You know, people doing stuff, making money, or I should say providing value. And
Yeah.
yeah. So I was surprised to see her actually say, refer to the office of person. It's amazing. I encountered her like forever ago. It seems like 10 years ago. So everyone must watch this video.
You know, there is the government as such, which really doesn't exist, and we won't get into that right now. But technically, there is a government, and then there is a government for governing the government.
Right. This is good.
And that's the issue right there. That's really the one that's come to the forefront, and that's where we keep kind of falling down that rabbit hole, because we keep falling in as a member of the government and applicable to the rules that govern the running of the government.
It seems some sort of
speed limits. No First Amendment auditor out there is going to say, "Oh, speed limit doesn't even apply to me. That applies to state employees," when that is actually true. That's a mindfuck right there. So, yeah, all these stupid First Amendment auditor people, I need to instruct them. I need to have like a conference, not just me. There's lots of me's out there. You know, we need to have like a conference to spread the real truth.
And the full truth.
The full truth.
Yeah.
Go all the way to the edge of the truth realm and discover persons and vehicles and serves and their money system.
Yep.
You know, this is the whole render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. Yeah, we shouldn't even be using their money system.
Oh, yeah.
In the end, it all comes back to
What we were talking about
zero
yesterday.
interactivity with their system. As soon as you select your silver thimble and drop it onto the board, you're screwed because now you're in their rules.
Yep.
And now you're using their money. Oh, the pink and green and purple and blue fake dollars.
Yep.
And where's the banker? The banker is not bound by the rules. The banker has no silver piece on the board. Banker can do whatever he wants.
Yep.
And at the end of the game, when everyone either thinks they have won or lost, nothing happens, but all the money goes back to the banker.
Yep.
You don't take that money off it stays
in the game.
It stays in the game.
Yeah.
No one in reality has connected Jesus saying, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's," with what I just said. At the end of the Monopoly game, all the money goes back to Caesar because it was always owned by him. Why? What do we own? That which we create.
Oh, yeah.
So the state creates the money. Well, they're supposed to. You know, the whole Federal Reserve thing is not really, but it's portrayed as the state is creating the money, and so therefore it always owns it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called a bill. You know, we'll talk about this stuff another time. Yeah, and I don't have any other timestamp for her in this video.
fraud has pulled us into a place where we don't belong.
We you know, I really...
Yeah, it would take me too long to find another interesting spot, but I'll make sure this link and I'll maybe link to like an Odyssey version of it as well. Makes its way into the description on here and on Odyssey, on YouTube and Odyssey. What else? What else, Val?
I don't know. Should we end there? I think it's long enough.
Yeah, it's probably been pretty long.
This is a lot.
I could go on for hours just on a single word. If we really actually crack open dictionaries and usages of that word. Traffic. Oh, just look at my notes here. Right. Traffic. Yeah, commercial. Right. Yeah, I didn't have anything else. Okay. Yeah,
so just future videos, I think we're just going to kind of continue on the same path. Eric knows a lot on this. He's studied up, and there's a lot of people online making mistakes and telling people incorrect things. So I think it's a good path to take to kind of correct the issue and get more people educated on this topic.
Yeah, and I want to stay on the ass of the auditors.
Yeah.
Because these are the people that are like having the right attitude, and correct willpower to actually fight back against evil.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to fight, you need to have the right weapons.
Correct.
And be able to see your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing you should do is realize that you need to get up on the wall, the watcher's wall. Get your vision good. Get out the binoculars and whatever you need to see and actually see all of the attack fronts and understand what all the attacks are.
Yep.
And there's all these auditors out there, 1,000 of them approximately or more, and they're not seeing all the attacks. Mm-hmm. They're not seeing all the weapons of the enemy. Person in this state, operating, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right.